Hi, Mark here, trust you're well, and welcome to this recording of a live micro learning session, which was recorded on Wednesday, the 12th of February 2025. In this session, we looked at the theory behind attributes within Lightroom Classic. Now, most Wednesday evenings, I host this Lightroom Short, where we explore a particular task. And on Monday evenings, I host a live Lightroom community, where over a semester, we look at a narrative and we conclude the second half of the evening together about your support questions. How can I do this? Is there a better way of doing that? I've got a problem with. Now, if you'd like to know more about my live events, just visit lightroommark.com/Eventbrite and you'll see my live events. Without any further ado, now let's jump across to the recording. Take care, stay safe, bye for now. So, good evening, everybody. In this week's micro learning session, we're going to be looking at attributes and what are attributes and how you could, because there's no right or wrong way of using anything or doing anything in life. It's our own personal challenge and how we want to do things. So what is an attribute? Well, it's a tag of some form that we can identify an image or a part of our workflow or anything that we want to associate with an attribute. So there are some guides, that's my word, guides of how we can use flags, ratings, and color labels. And having a workflow is really important regarding this because you can speed up finding images and automate them if you've got a workflow written down. If you've got an understanding of, I'm going to use this for this, that for that, and that for that. So let's share a screen and let's go a few of the tools to start with. So I'm in Classic 14.1.1, whatever it is. And I'm in the grid view and I've got nothing turned on. I've got no filters at all. And your friend in finding images is this filter bar across the top. So we've got text, attributes, and metadata. And then we have none. And at the moment it says none. But we've also got on the right-hand side, we've got a padlock. And we can lock the view if we wish. And we have some filters. So these are like, again, presets of how we want to display our images. But we need to have some form of understanding of what our attributes are. So we turn on attributes and we're going to talk about three of them tonight. There are a couple others built into the toolbar. Flags. And we have three types of flag. So we have P on our keyboard is a picked flag. If you look top left-hand corner of the top left picture, it's got a white flag now. If I press U, that's unflagged. It's removed the flag. And if I press X, it gives me a black flag. This is in Classic. If you're using Lightroom, it's Z and X for pick and reject, so the keyboards are slightly different. And what are flags designed to do? And in my workflow, this is how I do it. I can select a series of images. So let's go to a collection. So I'm going to go right click, go to a collection, this one called birds. I've got these images. And all I want to do is choose my images. And I can only choose them once. It's a one-time tag. And basically, picking and rejecting is, do I like it? Don't I like it? Yes or no? Is it a keeper? Am I going to reject it? Okay. And so many photographers get caught up with Oh, that's a good one. That's a bit better. That's a bit better. You really, in my opinion, we're too emotionally attached to our images. We should just keep our best images. And how we do that is with culling. So this is my filter bar, and I'm going to turn on the middle filter called unflagged. So if I just press the middle filter, no filter, then it says unflagged. So it is showing me the unflagged images. So I have two fingers, two hands, P and X. I'm going to pick the first image, and because the filter is turned on, it doesn't meet that requirement of show me an unflagged image. I've picked it, it disappears. And I can press X on the next image. The active image is the one that's grayed out, light gray. It's now rejected it. There are other ways that I can do this. I can come up to the flag and I can click on it and it goes pick, or I can come down to the toolbar at the bottom, come to the paint can, change it to flag, and I can select flag, unflag, reject, and I can spray on the image, and you can see them. I'm doing them in a different order, and then I can change the flag and go reject. And all I'm saying is, do I like it? Don't I like it? Put the paint can back in the dock. And that is what picked is. I've just turned off the filter there so you can see that I've flagged, picked, or rejected my images. So I'm asking myself a question. Do I like it? Don't I like it? And it's a very simple way of identifying yes or no. And a lot of workflow is you ask classic questions. Where was an image shot? Did I like that? When did I take it? And that's how, in digital asset management terms, we can find images really quickly. So this is called culling, picking, rejecting, culling. Okay. And that's really, really simple, I feel, to understand. Yes or no. I'm going to go Command or Control A, that selects all, press the U keyboard, and it removes my unflag. I could press P, I could press X, and that's rejecting them. Okay, so that's flagging. Anyone got any questions about that?
No.
No? Okay, so where this really gets powerful is when you bring in smart collections and you follow a workflow. So we're going to miss out ratings at the moment because it's very controversial what I do with ratings. We're going to go to color labels. And we have a red, we have a yellow, we have a green, we have a blue, a purple, a grey, and a white. So the grey and the white is custom and non-custom. So you can identify what you want to do with those. However, the other color labels, and you can only have one color label one time, are for you to identify something. So flags is yes or no. Do I like it? Don't I like it? Like it. And the color labels are, is it a part of your workflow? Is it a type of image? Is it a customer's image? Is it a bride's image? Is it a family image? Is it in my case, workflow? I'm working towards a goal. What is your goal? Is it, I'm a social photographer, I'm a member of photo clubs, and I might say all the pictures I've submitted to photo club competitions, I've put purple on. It's an easy way to identify a group of images. So to give you an example, I'm going to pick this one, I'm going to pick this one, and pick this one. And for ease of use, I'm just going to come down and I'm going to put purple on it. So now I've got 1, 2, 3 images that have got a purple color label and that I've picked. Okay. Now, I personally use them as a workflow identifier, and I'm working towards where I want to get to. Okay, so I'll use a color red for stop, color yellow for I'm halfway there. It's a traffic light system, and green is go, and I'm heading towards publishing my work, and green means it's published. So color labels you can identify. Now, if we come up into metadata, we've got color labels set, and we're just going to edit our color label set. And I have custom. Now, under images, we have red, yellow, green, blue, and purple. We can actually name these. Okay, so I've got in my workflow, red means to be edited, and yellow is part edited, and green is it's edited. So I'm working towards a goal of editing. Okay, so you can identify in a smart collection, show me all the images that are blue color labeled that are picked. And in a smart collection, that's automated. Okay, so ask yourself questions. Why do I want to use color labels? Is it to identify a narrative? Is it identify a customer? Is it identify a place in your workflow and use a color label? Now, color labels are also keyboard shortcuts 6, 7, 8, and 9. So you can just go to an image and press 7, and it says, as you may have seen on the screen there, part edited. Now, we can also use color labels in the folder structure as well as the collections. And how we do that is perhaps this folder here has got 3 images in it, and I have culled these already. So I've picked that one, and I've rejected that one. I can come to the folder, right click, and add a color label, and I've culled it. And now it's put a green, because green is where I want to get to go. I'm going to publish my images. That's my priority. But green could mean anything for you. And it's now got a green label against that folder structure. And exactly the same in a collection. I can add a color label to a collection. Okay, so come down to color label, and I can add a color label here as I wish. And it's a visual identifier. What is it identifying is up to you. And we can name those as well. So if I go to color label set, going to edit my custom one, which I'm currently on. These are images. As you can see, it says images in the middle, but I can do folders, and I can name the color labels of the folders. I've also got collections, and I could name the color labels. And again, they're visual identifiers. I'm looking for this, and it's red. I know red is images that I haven't edited. Yellow is images that I have part edited. Green means images that I've edited and they're ready to go on for sale. But that's within a collection or within a folder structure. Okay, so working out where you're going to is really important. So let's go back to the birds. There we go. Okay, so I have these images. This has got a green, this is picked. This one here is picked as well. So stars, ratings. Let's just come off the screen for a second and let's talk to you about ratings. Ratings is the only attribute that goes across software, but also across devices. Flags go from Lightroom Classic to Lightroom, goes from Bridge, and goes to Photoshop. It goes to some third-party software. Color labels only stay in Classic, do not go from Bridge to Classic, is preserved in the workflow from Classic to Photoshop and back again. Ratings goes from camera to, my statement is, I have not seen any software that does not support ratings. There may be one out there, but I've never seen it. So whether it's Photo Mechanics, which is not an Adobe product, whether it's Topaz, whether it's On1, whether it's Nixsoft, whether it's LR time lapse, whether it's photomatics, ratings is preserved. And that is a key in an attribute workflow. Why do I say that is? Because you can assign a rating on your smartphone, on your tablet at time of capture with the native camera, import it into Lightroom and assign the star rating, and it's preserved through your whole workflow, syncing to the cloud, coming into Classic, going into Photoshop, off to Topaz Denoise if you use that, or on one for stylization, or Nix Soft, Silver Effects Pro, or anything like that. The rating is preserved. It's the only attribute that I know of in 12 years of helping other photographers and 18 years or whatever it is using Lightroom Classic. Um, it's the only rating, or sorry, it's the only attribute that is preserved from camera. And that also means your mirrorless and DSLR camera, where you can assign a function button. So for my sins, I'm a Nikon photographer. Different cameras, different manufacturers all do different things, but the principle is the same. I've assigned function 2 on the front of my camera. So this button here in playback mode. So I'm chimping, I'm looking at the back of the screen at images. I hit this button and it adds 1 star to my image. Now, it doesn't mean 1 star is a 1 star graded image, like it's a poor hotel or it's a poor restaurant where 5 stars is the best. It's an identifier. That's all I use ratings for. So my narrative, my message to you in this part of this micro learning session is don't necessarily use ratings for identifying. Is it a good image? Is it a great image? Is it a brilliant image? Is it a rubbish image? Use the tool for how you want to use it. So in my case, 1 star means to me, because it's preserved from camera all the way through my workflow, I like it on the back of the camera. I press play. I like that picture. I press OK. Yes, it's 100% pin sharp in focus. I assign that 1 star. When I import the image into Classic or in Lightroom, or I see it in Photoshop or whatever, that 1 star's there. So I have a smart collection. And that smart collection on import pops up and says, here's all the 1 star images that you've just imported. Those are the photographs I've liked on the back of the camera. It could be on a 2-week project assignment. It could be on, I've done a load of wildlife photography. It could be, I've done a load of sports. I've got 3,000 images to go through in a morning's motorsport event. Well, whilst I've got 30 seconds, 40 seconds of all the cars around the other part of the circuit, I can quickly go through, yes, I like that one. 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 It's preserved in my workflow. So the thing that I'm saying about this is consider your workflow for attributes. So let's jump back to Classic. So I could say I'm going to press 1 on my keyboard for 1 star. 2 in my workflow means I'm currently editing it. So that's got 2 stars. So 1 to 5 is 1 to 5 stars. 0 takes the stars off. So now I'm building up a workflow. Blue means something. Green means something. Flag picked means I like the image. Okay. So now what I can do is I can create smart collections. So let's just close this panel quickly so we can zoom into here. And let's come out of here. Okay, so I'm going to create a smart collection. Show me a smart collection. Okay, so I'm going to say picked images. Okay, so we'll go on the drop down, flagged equals flag, or picked flag equals flagged. Press create, and there's all my flagged images. Now, What I could do is improve the search. Okay, add more criteria to it. Okay, so I could go plus. My rating is 1 star or greater. Press save. There are all my picked images that has 1 star or greater. I said earlier about asking Lightroom questions. That's what I'm doing. I'm asking a question, two questions here. Show me the answer to two questions. So if I take that one off, these stars, I'm now going to say, show me other metadata, keywords contains the word bird. Okay, none there. So let's type in birds, and it's not coming up with any because there are no there. But let's try other metadata. So let's try file name. So source file type, file name. There we go. File name contains bird. And there we go. It's found a flagged image with bird in there. Now, when I add more images, so I go right click, show in collection. There's a collection. Okay, so let's say I'm going to pick this one, and I'm going to pick this one, and I'm going to pick this one. And let's go to the collection. There we go. It's now added those 3 images because it's a smart collection. It's met the rule. It's got bird in the keyword and it's got a flag assigned to it. I could add more and more searches. Now, instead of having a nice big long list of collections down here with just things like picked, it's a picked image with a blue color label. It's a picked image with 2 stars. It's a picked image with this keyword. What you then do is start using this filter bar. So ask 1 or 2 questions in your smart collection, then use the filter bar. So these are all my picked images. Then come across the ratings and say, show me all my picked images that are across the whole of my catalog that have got 1 star or greater. Or it could be show me that's got green color label. There isn't any. Let's try yellow color label. There's one. Red color label. Okay. Blue. Purple. There we go. There's 3 with purple. So they're picked and they've got purple color label. So it's a very quick way of assigning rules, tags, colors, stars. Do I like it? Don't I like it? Identifying these images and automating the workflow. So for me, I import small batches of images by narrative. I apply those keywords and then I cull them. I pick and reject, and this smart collection is automatically being updated. So my digital asset management is now being completed on import. So if I go out for a shoot, I'm doing a project, I'll import all that narrative, make sure that keyword's on. I will then go to in the collection panel, catalog panel, I'll go to previous import, I'll pick and reject. That's it, done. I've done my digital asset management. Don't need to spend hours doing and so on. I've done it on import on those 30 odd images. Then I import the next batch, put the appropriate keywords on there, and they're reference keywords. They're not the final keyword. So it could be location and narrative, for example. Okay. I just put 1, 2, 3, 4 keywords on there that is in my keyword list. And then I will go to catalog panel, previous import, pick and reject because it's a small group of maybe 100 or 200 images I've imported. I do that in 5 minutes and my digital asset management is done because I have a smart collection already set up with the narrative and whether I picked it. And then I go through, Oh, right, those 200 images I've just imported, I've now got 16 of them that I'm going to keep. And that's it. Simple as that. But using attributes with a workflow in mind is really important. Ask yourself questions. Where do I want to get to? How do I want to get there? And stars, ratings, as I said earlier, is the only one that goes across the whole of the workflow. So please, in my opinion, it's not right or wrong. Don't use them for that's a rubbish image. That's a bit better. That's a bit better. And that's my best image. Utilize the fact that the tool works everywhere. It's a unique identifier that works across of your whole workflow in all software to the best of my knowledge. So in my case, one is I like on the back of the camera. I've assigned it in camera. Two means I'm currently editing on it. I've got around 480,000 images in my work catalog. There's about 12 images on there that have got 2 stars. I'm currently working on those images. Why? Because if I get called away or I get a phone call or I've got to drop everything and run, I can immediately go back to that smart collection that's got 2 stars on it. I can see where I picked up immediately rather than trying to hunt and find. And yes, when you close Classic, it goes back, it opens back up to where you were. Okay. 3 stars for me means I've published it on social media, but I haven't published it in one of my titles, one of my magazines. So it's in the public domain, but it's not been published in one of my books. 5 stars is it's published in one of my books. Okay. No stars at all means it's not published, but I could have put a green color label, picked it, a green color label, which means it's now ready to go on sale, but it is not on sale yet because I haven't got 3 or 5 stars on it.
What was 2 stars for you?
2 stars is I'm currently editing. Okay, I'm actually I edit around about 12 to 20 images at a time, and then usually different narratives because then you don't get bored with editing the same thing. Oh, it's another steam train I'm editing, or it's another but golden eagle I'm editing, or it's another baseball picture or whatever. So, and because classic, you can sync your edits. You only if you've got a series of an eagle flying through, the exposure is probably all the same, etc., etc., etc. So you can just edit one image and then sync the edits to all the images. So I've got around about 12 images that I edit at any one time, and then I can then go into the collections and sync the edits. But it's a way of identifying that if I get called away or if I have a 20-minute phone call with somebody, where was I, what I was doing, oh, I shut down my machine, oh, I've got an extra half an hour, I can go back in. The 2 stars takes me back to those 12, 20 images that I'm editing. And when I finish editing it, I put 0 back on it or 3 stars. I take the 2 stars off. Please bear in mind that you can only put one attribute of one tag. So you can only have one color label. You can only have one rating. You can only have one picked. So it's picked, a rating, a color label. So you have to use them wisely. And that's why we use keywords. So for example, you could put a picked green color label, 4 stars, and then search for the word bird, either as a keyword, file name, or a location, or whatever it is. And that's how you can ask classic questions and it filters it down. Yeah. And remember, a question can be what camera, geographic location, location or source within Classic. Is it in a collection? Is it in published service? Is it in a folder? Date. focal length, shutter speed, aperture, GPS. These are all questions that are all in your Exif data. Exif data is the information that you capture. Okay. Did your flash fire? That's all in the file, the picture file, and it's all preserved within Classic. And if you've got some cameras, I think the Canon R3, the Nikon Z9, the Z8, the Z6, they've got the memo recorder. You press the little button and you can record an audio file against the photograph, the names of all the people. And I have, in my older days when I did commercial portraits, I would get the person to speak their name and spell it on the first file that I took of them. And it records it as a memo note. That's information that I can call back from in my digital asset management workflow. So I'm looking for a picture of an otter in the Highlands of Scotland, but with a shallow depth of field. So I'd create a smart collection, otter as a keyword, geographic location. I go to the map module, draw the circle in. I want an otter anywhere on this island. And I then say, show me all the images that were shot at f4 or less. And there's my answer. And you could then say, show me the picked ones, show me the ones that are no color label, which means I have not done anything to them yet, which means that nobody's ever seen them. Yeah, because the value of an image is it's new. Oh, I've seen that image. It's not worth anything monetary.
And if you do an attribute on a virtual, does that also carry over to the original?
No, that's a good question. No, they're identified as different. So identified as different to the best of my knowledge. So because they're different lines in the catalog.
Ah, right.
So the catalog treats them as separate images. So yeah, so there would be different attributes. So if you change the color label on one or change the star rating on it and so on, it was treated as different. Just like in develop modules. I had to think about that. Okay. So anyone got any questions about that? Was it helpful?
Yes.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So welcome, Colin. I don't know if you've been before. We do this on a Wednesday. This is the micro learning session, half an hour. I choose a topic each week and so on, and we look at different things and we jump around different modules and so on. On a Monday evening, we have and there's quite a few people here that it's a member of there's a Lightroom community where we go through a narrative. We're coming towards the end of editing. We've done since September last year, we've been doing editing. So I've been showing you all the tools. So you've been building up the skills, and it's my learning style is not to tell you what to do, is to show you what the tools do. And then we talk and discuss and how we can use them. So we're now coming towards the end of that narrative of editing, where we've got, I think, about another 2 or maybe 3 weeks of actually editing images. We've learned all these skills, what these tools do, and this is how we can use them. And I talk about my workflow, and we talk about it as a group, and there's about 20 or so in the group. In March, we're looking at the book module. We're going to do 4 weeks of the book module and really strip the book module apart from the size of the pages to putting images to putting text and linking the library module with the book module. So you've got a description and the title of the image in the IPTC data. Difference between Exif and IPTC data is Exif data comes from the camera.
Yeah.
IPTC data is the data that you give it. So title, headline, description, big note, the address lookup from the GPS data if you've got GPS enabled, and all those stuff that you're giving it the information. Well, it can take all that information and put it in the book module as text or whatever you wish to do.
Okay.
So by working smarter, not harder in the library module, you can then bring that across into any book. And you can produce a PDF in the book module. You don't have to just use Blurb. But anyway, so we're going to look at 4 weeks. And then the last week we're doing in that session of 4 is we're going to look at InDesign and Classic, because I use InDesign. Okay, so that's what we do on a Monday night. It's 2 hours, an hour skills base on a narrative. And then the second hour is all about helping you. I've got a question with this. I need help with that. Am I doing this? Am I using the full functionality? Am I doing something wrong? I can't get this to happen. Does Lightroom Classic do this? Does Lightroom does this? How can I do that? And so on. So people ask random questions. So that's what I offer.
Okay, thank you.
That's
Well,
right.
tonight you've helped me in my search to find a needle in a haystack in my photo collection by using these attributes.
Yeah.
Absolutely fascinating. It's great.
Yeah, yeah, I'm happy to help. Okay, guys, anyone got any more questions?
Just a quick question, Mark.
Yeah.
You know, we can name the color labels. I'm assuming we can't actually name the stars, so we can't say 1 star is what we just have to remember what we're using them for. Yeah.
Yeah, what I do in my smart collections, I've got a collection set and it says ratings, and then I created a rule that 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star, and in that collection set, I've named it. So 1 star says
Okay.
1 star, 1 star colon lights on the back of the camera. 2 stars means I'm currently editing. 3 star means, and it says it in the smart collection. So that's the way I do it. So.
Okay, thank you.
But there we go. Okay, ladies and gents, lovely to see you. I'll get the recording done as soon as possible and up on YouTube.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Have a nice day, evening. Hopefully see a lot of you on Monday.
Yeah,
All the
see you
best.
Monday.
Bye.
Bye.